I know homes are unaffordable. I even did a poll on my channel asking if most of the people could afford a house that's around $415,000. That is the current median price of a home here in the United States. And most of you said you couldn't, or some of you said you could, but you couldn't afford to furnish it or pay the taxes on it. About 9,000 of you chimed in to let me know, no, you can't afford it. But I know how much you can afford, about $200,000. That would be in line with the median price of a home that it was back in 2019. And that would be in line with today's current median income. Believe it or not, around the United States, you can find a house for $200,000. And no, they're not in crime-ridden areas. I found homes in every single state under $200,000. Actually, I really thought it was going to be more of a challenge for me than it was. I want to share it with you because I'm excited. And I'm going to be going over a few other things that I found pretty interesting when it comes to affording a home. And then I want to get your opinion about it at the end. All right, so I said up to $200,000. How many bedrooms? I don't care. And the home type, whatever you decide that you want to buy, that's fine. But we're going to just do houses. You know what? I'm going to leave on multifamily, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're looking to make generational wealth in the future, nothing will help you pay off your mortgage even faster than having a second property. Then once that property's paid off, then maybe you can buy the dream house that you've always wanted. Or maybe that may be your dream house for the rest of your life. Let's go to one of the most expensive states in the United States, and we're going to go to California, right on the border, 180,000. Let's take a look-see. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's take a little closer look at this. And I'm just like basically picking these. It's like a little cottage home right here. Like, this is so cute. This is really nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. You're just going to have to be a little bit more open-minded. You know what? Even some areas have brand new homes, but look how cute this is. This is adorable. And it's in California. All right, let's find another one. In San Diego, let's take a look. 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 654 feet. It looks like you got a lot of land though. And this would be a great starter home. And then if you decided in the future, you could always add on to it or rebuild a brand new house. And you got to remember, this is in San Diego. So that makes a lot of sense why it would be so expensive. There's one right here, 200,000 right there. Oh, it's a foreclosure. If you're thinking about looking at foreclosures to find homes that are under 200,000, that's where you can get some really good deals. Just know that like some foreclosure companies are going to work differently than others. So for instance, if you were going to use the HUD Home Store as the foreclosure company to work with, you're in luck because they work with individual buyers first before they work with speculators or investors. And just because you're buying a foreclosure doesn't mean that you can't have an inspection done. Make sure you understand the contract that you're signing. That's all I wanted to put out there. But foreclosures, you can get yourself a good deal, especially if homes under $200,000. But this is cute, 1,700 square feet. Oh, it's brand new. See, new construction under 200,000 in California. Check that out. See, right there, California under 200,000. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?
There's a couple of rules we use. Rule number 1 is to be debt-free, which you are. Rule number 2 is when you make your down payment, you need to retain enough to call your emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of household expense. The third thing is never take out more than a 15-year fixed rate. That's the max.
If you guys don't know who that is, that's Dave Ramsey. He's had a podcast and radio show for years talking and helping people with their finances. People either love him or hate him. And in my case, I feel like he lives in a different world than we live in today because it doesn't really make sense. So let's just put his perspective on saving for a house with a $200,000 home. Not too far off, especially if you have the $75,000. So you would need, for a 15-year mortgage at 6.7%, 6 months in reserves. And you would need the 20% down payment. Your payment for a mortgage with the 6.75 would be $1,411.42. And according to Dave, he wants you to have, I was conservative and I said 6 months reserves. So with the down payment, you would need to save $48,468.54. And I calculated how long that would take for a person making that amount of money to actually be able to save that amount. So if you take 10% of your income, how long would that actually take before you had that $48,000? And it would take 6.5 years. So today, if you decided that you were going to save for a house and you were going to save 10% of your income, it would take you 6.5 years to save that amount of money. I think that's stretching it. There are so many different loan packages out there where you don't necessarily have to save 20% down. Not only that, you don't have to take a 15-year mortgage. Yes, you would get your house paid off quicker. And Dave's whole thing is that you have absolutely no debt in your life. But to have a home payment for 30 years isn't necessarily out of the norm. And not only that, if that's what gets you into a home without having to pay rent, if you had spent all that time, those 6.5 years waiting to afford a house, who knows what home prices are going to be like in 6.5 years, right? Not only that, you're paying rent for those 6.5 years to somebody else instead of paying for a mortgage. I get what he's doing, and I know that he doesn't want people to get into financial debt, but I don't necessarily think that 30-year mortgages are as wicked as he makes them sound to be. But that's just my opinion. The other thing too is there is lots of government-backed loans. There's rural development loans, there's FHA loans, and even some conventional loans that do not require you to have the 20% down. I get it. You'll be paying PMI insurance, but that insurance drops with most of these loans after you have 20% equity in it. And that could drop off in 6.5 years in the time that you were saving money to go ahead and get a house. So I don't necessarily think all of his advice is the best advice. It's probably the best advice if you totally want to live your life completely not owing anything to anybody and only having that mortgage for 15 years. But you tell me your opinion. I'd like to hear it. Oh, remember how I was telling you earlier that Dave Ramsey wants you to save $48,000? So I didn't mention the fact how that would look with this same kind of formula using a 30-year mortgage. So your payments for a 30-year mortgage would be $1,064. So basically you'd be saving $400 a month. Now, according to Dave Ramsey's rules of at least 6 months of reserves, you would need to save $6,386 for your reserves. With your down payment and your reserves, you need $46,386. So it isn't too far off from the 15-year mortgage that you would need to save as well. But you would have that flexibility of not having $400. And in some cases, that is a big difference in a payment for somebody. $400 is like a car payment. So that would be entirely up to you. If you wanted to do the 15-year loan or the 30-year loan, I would like to know what your opinion is about it. I am always one of these people that like to have my own cash on hand. I would stick with the 30 years. That's what I would do. I want to know what you would do. All right, let's look at another state. Let's go to the East Coast. Let's go to my home state, Boston, Massachusetts. All right, the pickings look slim. Nothing. Look at that. Nothing in my hometown. Come on, there's got to be something. Well, I love this little area. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, see, this is really cute. Pond Street in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Ooh, it looks like you get a big pile of dirt with this piece of property, which is kind of nice. Ooh, look at here. 184,300 right in Springfield, Massachusetts. This is so cute too. Look at that. That is a beautiful house. 6 bedrooms, 2 baths. You'll even have room for like your kids to come back. If you wanted them to come back, you have multi-generational living. This is fantastic. It needs a little TLC, but nothing that can't be fixed. And it's such a good deal. Such a good deal. 200,000 right there in Massachusetts. See, there are houses out there that are affordable. We can do it. If you're getting like really excited about some of these areas and some of the houses that you've seen, I want you to be aware of one thing that just happened, and it literally happened to me last night. My husband got the mail and we had one letter in the mail, and the only letter was the renewal for my homeowner's insurance. It actually doubled. I paid $2,000 last year, and now this year I'm going to be paying $4,400. I have never made a claim on my insurance. So I just want you to be aware, even if the house is $200,000 or $100,000, insurance premiums, deductibles, everything is going up. So if you are on the fence, if you should purchase a home or not, I really want you to put an account on how much that your insurance could possibly go up. It literally doubled in 1 year. Now, I know you're probably really worried for me, but don't be on the fact that it doubled. I'm sure you're just gasping on how much it could actually go up in 1 year. And no, there's no regulations to make them stop that. But it doesn't stop you from shopping. That is the one thing about a free market, is that it does allow you to shop as many insurance companies as possible. So I've been on the phone quite a bit, and I've already got a couple quotes. One of them have brought it down another $700. So I'm going to find out what the other ones say, but always shop insurance premiums all the time. I should have done it sooner. At least I have until April to renew it. And they gave me that notification well in advance. Ugh, golly, it's so terrible. So terrible. I have to share with you a comment I got on one of my videos, because this is what inspired this video idea in the first place. And this commenter said that you could buy a house in Central Florida for under $200,000. And I'm from Central Florida, and I was like bullpucky. I didn't believe her. And so let's go ahead and take a look to see if you really can buy a house in Central Florida for under $200,000. I'm talking a house, not a condo, a house. Okay, so that subscriber said there's tons in Central Florida that is under $200,000. Tons. Those were her words. But there isn't much out there. All right, we got some areas, but this is not considered Central Florida. So like right here in Orlando, this is considered Central Florida. I lived over here. So let's go Altamont Springs. Let's try this. Altamont Springs. You get a little house here. 180. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It is a big, big, big lot. For Florida at 0.79 of an acre, that's big. So there is some things out there. Slim pickings, not much. There's 2 in Port St. Lucie. Maybe she meant Port Richey. There ain't much. Let's take a look though. Let's just see. That's nice. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a nice house. I wouldn't say there's tons out there, but there are deals to be had. But everybody needs to be aware, because just like Louisiana, Florida has some insurance problems. Like a friend of mine tried to get some insurance on her house, and her insurance used to be $2,000, and then they upped her insurance $9,000. She told me that on Facebook because I was complaining about it. If you're looking in Florida, just be very aware. The insurance, home insurance, is super expensive. If you're buying cash, you don't need to have as much insurance on your house. And then if you are, have a mortgage on it, that's almost like a buyer beware. Like anything can happen at any time. Oh, I had this one insurance adjuster was like, "Oh yeah, we can get your insurance premium down to $837." I'm like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, but it won't cover wind or hail or hurricane." Who made that decision? I told him, I'm like, that's like playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun with no wind and hail and no hurricane damage. You can't make a claim on that. Yeah, sure. I bet it's cheap. I would never do that. Florida or in South Louisiana or anywhere a hurricane could hit. I can't even believe they offer that as a service. Unbelievable. So stupid. All right, so I was proven wrong. There is stuff available in Central Florida. The pickings are slim, but they are available. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I hate that. I hate being wrong. All right, so now we've done the West Coast. Now we've done the East Coast. Let's go to the deep South. We're going to Baton Rouge. Who knew? I'm from this area. I know that in Baton Rouge, we have a lot of really nice houses that are under 200,000. Look, 195. 195 right there. Look at how cute this is. It's all up to snuff too. Look at that. I mean, it's adorable. Look at that yard. Oh my gosh. That is fantastic. If you're thinking about moving to Baton Rouge or anywhere in South Louisiana, just get flood insurance, even if it's not in a flood zone. It's not that expensive. All right, let's take a little toursy of this house. All right, this is the porch. Super cute. Nice yard. It's a big yard. Look how nice this is for $185,000. Look at the kitchen. This is adorable. And look at the floors, wood, little office area, bedroom. I have to tell you, like here in Louisiana, they literally build the nicest houses. I've lived in the Baton Rouge area now for 14 years. No, 15. And I have to tell you, it's probably one of the friendliest places I have ever lived in my entire life. The people are so nice and the food is absolutely delicious. And you can get a lot of homes, really nice homes for under 200,000. I'm not telling you that just because, this is where I sell houses. I'm telling you that because it's like really a great place. Even my parents who were retired in Florida moved here. I'm not trying to sell you on Baton Rouge. I really just want to know which ones were your favorite that we looked at today. Let me know in the comments section below. To watch more videos about the housing market, you're going to want to check these videos right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because good real estate information matters.